Known for being the scariest mission in Halo CE, 343 Guilty Spark has you plunged alone into the dense swamps of the Installation 04, while being quietly stalked by the Flood who watch you from a distance in the heavy fog. Though this is one of the few times the Flood remain neutral towards you, as they appear to be leading you towards the library. Getting too close to them causes the Flood to retreat into the fog, and what's worse is seeing friendly markers on your minimap, as if traveling with your trusty crew, but without a single Marine in sight. The atmosphere is foreboding and apprehensive. With a very quiet soundscape and little to no action, it's unsettling considering the game thus far has been the adventure of a lifetime. This eerie travel might not seem so dreadful, but you don't even have Cortana by your side. In a game mostly centered around exploration and knowledge, Outer Wilds happens to include one formidably scary place in its catalog of planets to explore. Located on the furthest end of the solar system, you'll find yourself misfortunate enough to have to be required to enter into the Dark Bramble megastructure, a massive interdimensional plant you'll traverse through containing portals into a quantum-defying world where there's nothing but the dense tinge of mono green and the infinitely large expanse of bramble doorways that lead to other worlds within. But enjoy this while you can, as soon enough you'll stumble upon the true horror of this silent hellscape, that being the massive infestation of large anglerfish-like creatures that won't hesitate to eat you and your ship alive. The only way to avoid them is by shutting off your thrusters and silently gliding through while cautiously using them briefly only when needed, as though these creatures cannot see you, they have incredible hearing, so watch out. Although living life as an intergalactic cave miner can be exhausting at times, it never fails to entertain. That is, until your crew comes across a cave leech cluster, in which case you'll find me back at the landing site. Located in the radioactive exclusion zone, although many types of flora and fauna are mutated here, the most notable types are the cave leeches, who act as a stationary enemy that attach themselves to the cave ceiling and strike at your most vulnerable moments. With that being said, you'll come to find these grapple hook horrors also happen to spawn in massive clusters that you and your team better hope to be prepared for, as you'll have to stick together and make sure you have your friends' backs before they do. After the events of Dead Space 1, you'd expect Isaac Clarke would have seen it all. Dead bodies, blood, and creatures with razor-sharp elbows. But you'll stumble upon one location not many gamers could have ever expected any developer to show: the elementary school. Located in the Concourse shopping mall on Titan Station, this once innocent kindergarten program can be seen at its absolute worst, with many of the walls adorning child-friendly paintings in blood. Although a dreadful sight for many, this is not fully understood until it is revealed that many of the school attendees had been under the influence of the marker from Site-12, which led to this iconic scene. From exploding infants to adolescent demon children, one can't ever blame Isaac for simply just wanting to get the fuck out of there. Although Slender the 8 Pages is designed to scare you all around, and only takes place on one single map, there is one very infamous area in the map that many fans of the game reference as being the worst place to find yourself, as the entire map is very wide open and easy to get away from the Slenderman. However, this is the only time that the game cruelly forces you into a position where you must enter what is known to many as simply the bathrooms. This structure is incredibly small and a maze of its own accord. You must approach this room with caution, as upon entering this death trap, you'll find that there's a 50% chance you'll make it out safely. But if you're not careful, then you best hope you have a clean change of underwear. After suffering a catastrophic containment breach at Site-19, you're tasked with escaping the massive facility while evading any and all hostile threats. Throughout your journey, you must navigate the facility and enter through numerous chambers, rooms, and access levels. However, nothing could have ever prepared you for what the lowermost level of the facility has to offer you. As soon after the breach, an elevator can be found. Riding the elevator will take you down to the basement level, where you're greeted by silent darkness. This area is why basements are considered creepy, and in order to progress, you must enter this level, as you won't escape without specific items that can only be found here. And that might not seem so bad if the entire place wasn't single-handedly illuminated by dim security lights and deafening silence. Throughout your journey here, you must stay quiet, as the basement is infested by several instances of SCP-939, large lizard-like creatures with poor eyesight but immaculate hearing. Crouching through is the safest way, as getting too excited would mean certain death. But by far the scariest part of this location is the constant and ever-so-present sound of a deep, subtle growling that follows you constantly. Never get too close, because this may be the end of your journey. After being tortured through various inhumane psychic experiments brought on by her own father, Alma Wade sought to get revenge on Armacon by killing her father Arlen Wade and everyone in the company. Throughout your journey within the Origin facility, you'll find yourself following an apparition of Alma, who is mostly well known for being an 8-year-old girl. However, this version of her takes on a fully grown, naked, and emaciated form, who slowly makes her way through the facility's halls, and following her brings upon many frightening and disturbing sights that really demonstrate the true horror of the Origin facility and what took place there. Garry's Mod, while being intended as a mostly single-player linear sandbox game with no actual objectives or storyline, managed to develop itself to become most well known as a liminal space horror simulator. This is because of the engine that the game runs on happens to create a very unsettling atmosphere for a player, regardless of which map they play on. While it's easy to prove this using the utter lack of life on almost every map, there is one specific map that is infamously known for being the spookiest of them all. GM Construct, while being the home of the endless white void, hollow buildings, and the mirror room, this map holds one very famously scary area that most gamers will avoid at all costs, and it's one of the scariest places in all of Garry's Mod. It's known simply as the Dark Room. Serving to be utilized as a great area to test out lamps and other light sources, it happens to have accidentally given itself a very horrifying attribution due to the player not being able to see anything without a flashlight and because of the total silence along with it. The Dark Room is also put to great use by popular digital horror YouTube series like Gunslinger Pro 2009 and Badwater Videos 2009. And for most players, even thinking about going in is a dare in and of itself. But actually going inside the Dark Room happens to appear on almost no one's bucket list. And you better believe, must you make the choice to go in yourself, that you won't make it to the other side without a spare change of diapers.